We are back to Eldora, Ohio, and what a huge crowd. Earl Baltus is crammed in here again tonight. This has got to be the biggest one I think we've ever seen here at the Kings Royal, Brad.
Earl would like to have fans go all the way around this racetrack. That's been his goal, and he's getting real close to it.
Look at them all enjoying it here tonight. And the lineup for the B feature looks a lot like this. Craig Hodnett, who sits sixth in the points, will be up on the front of the front row. Rookie of the Year points contender, Donnie Schatz, who leads that category right alongside of him. The Jacobs brothers will make up row number 2. Kenny Jacobs has won here twice before. Four-time All-Star champ Frankie Kerr in row 3. Paul McMahon, who is also battling for that Rookie of the Year title in row 3. Tyler Walker with 3 All-Star victories this year in row 4. As we make our way back through, Lance Blevins in row 6 as we work our way back through this lineup. Daniel Lisowski, the winningest driver ever at Knoxville in here. Larry Neighbors and Butch Schroeder back in row 8. Gus Watson alongside of Dion Hindi in row 10. Those are some of the cars, along with Scruffy, that came up out of the C main.
This lineup is as good as any A main in the country. I mean, you put this kind of money on the line, this is what you get is a B main that's loaded up with some really, really good race cars that are packing them up here, getting ready to come around to get the green flag.
Green flag, and we're racing. Down the back straightaway, Hodnett has the lead as they go into turn 4, and look at Jacobs coming through.
Kenny Jacobs drove to the bottom and drove under Donnie Schatz, put that Eldora slide job on and took second away. Made it look pretty easy.
Schatz runs in third. Frankie Kerr holds on to fourth. Then it's Dean Jacobs, Tyler Walker, Paul McMahon, Jeff Swindell, Ed Lynch giving chase from behind.
Tyler Walker, you mentioned him in the heat race. He jumped a little early. They set him back 2 rows. He ended up finishing 4th in the heat race. It cost him. He could have very easily ran the top 3 and been in the A main. Now he's back here struggling. Greg Hodnett, Sel Michelle, number 11.
Having a good run out front right now, isn't he? Look at him pulling away from Kenny Jacobs, who has won 3 of the last 4 days on the All-Stars when they've come here to Eldora. He's giving chase, but he's got a lot of ground to make up, but he's in a transfer spot right now to the A main. Now, the 7TW, the Ford of Jeff Swindell. You heard Bobby Gerald talking about the problems they've had with the engine. He's running up in the high groove. There you see him, the Gold Eagle car, and he's got Ed Lynch. You'll see him coming along on the bottom, giving chase.
We've seen this before. When a guy has to change an engine, Ralph, you don't have time to watch the racetrack. You don't watch the other race cars and the other drivers. So sometimes you miss on the chassis setup because you're so busy thrashing just to get the engine back in the car.
Jeff, a winner at Las Vegas with the World of Outlaws earlier this year, is qualified for 9 of 13 attempts for the Kings Royal, trying to do it again here tonight.
Actually, looks like Tyler's getting away from him just a little. Tyler Walker, as you see Greg Hodnett, our leader, coming up on Butch Schroeder. Try to lap him going into turn 1.
Schroeder, one of the Ohio drivers, up high along the wall, and that's going to hold up Hodnett.
That really costs Hodnett. Anytime you go to the bottom like that and have to slide back up and wait, you're out of the throttle. You actually just wait to pick the cushion back up. But he's so far ahead right now. He's got a good straightaway lead, so he can take his time, but no rear view mirrors. He doesn't know that.
Now he completes the pass as they come out of 1 and 2, and there's a bump right there as they go over the crossover area.
That's where the rigs come through, and that leaves a bump. What that does to your race car, if you go over that straight at 150 miles an hour, the car bounces. Sometimes the front end will push going into the corner. It feels like you're going to drive right through the wall. If you cross over that and try to dive to the bottom, and it shakes the car loose, and you slide, and you think you're going to hit with the right rear. So it can really upset your race car.
Coming out onto the front straightaway and a big pack of traffic in front of him. Honda now dealing with Hindi, and he'll get him on the outside. And Brad, we've always said the guy who does well in the B main has a great shot at the A main because he's the last to see the racetrack in a good racing condition.
That's right, Ralph. He can read his tire wear, know what gear selection to make, and it's like a hot lap session basically. So and after the B main, the front runners, all the other teams will come over and look at their tires and feel them for heat and look at them, see how they're wearing. So yeah, the B main can sometimes actually be an advantage.
More lap traffic, and he'll look at him go up to the high side. He'll stick that big right rear in that dark, deep mud called the cushion and get a nice run down the back straightaway.
Well, he really got held up there, but again, he's got such a big lead that he's really in good shape. Just This is just such a momentum racetrack. You know, you just roll around the top and keep your momentum going. You just get faster and faster. When you have to go to the bottom or slide the car, turn it sideways, it just kills that momentum.
Kenny Jacobs still giving chase, but way back. And this one, the B main, all going the way of Greg Hodnett, the Sal Michelle number 11. There you see him. This car from California having a good run. Hodnett calls Tennessee home, but the win will go to him, the car from California. Back into the pack, you'll see how far back it is to Jacobs as he crosses the line. Dean Jacobs coming through as well, his brother. Greg Hodnett, the 1995 Kings Royal, he started up front with Steve Kent.
Frankie Kerr came across in third. Got by Dean. He started, Frankie started fifth, so he gets in the A main. The racetrack like this, when it gets a little black and a little drier, it actually makes for better racing, especially here at Eldora. Even though it's a little slick, it doesn't get that much. It doesn't get very slow, just because the speeds, the corner speeds are so high here, and the momentum, like we've talked, that it's going to be a great race in the main event.
Now here's a look at the unofficial result of this one. Hodnett, Jacobs, Schatz, and Kerr, and Dean Jacobs coming in fifth.
I called that. I didn't realize Donnie Schatz was in third there, so I guess Dean didn't get a transfer.
Bobby Gerald right down there next to the winner. Let's check in with Bobby.
Well, guys, maybe more interesting than talking to Greg right now is watching everyone come over and look at that right rear tire. There's the Kings Royal champion from last year, Johnny Herrera, feeling it and touching it. Devin DeLuzio from Stevie Smith's crew taking a look at it. Dave Blaney, who we talked to early in the show, he's won 2 events here. He's got his hand right on that tire. He looked at the number on the Goodyear tire to see what it was. It was a 25C. And now Sonny Kratzer, who turns the wrenches for Greg Hodnett, finally gets his opportunity to come over and look at it. On the other side, on the left rear, you've got Sammy Swindell and Herrera and Stevie Smith all looking at it. And in the meantime, Greg Hodnett has had a chance to get his helmet off over at the front of the car. And he's talking with some of the World of Outlaw officials right now. And Greg, congratulations on your B-main win, but the bad news is there's still plenty more work to be done.
Yeah, there is. We were pretty good, though. I mean, we were really losing the heat and tightening up there and seemed to help out quite a bit. But, you know, there's a lot of guys in front of us a heck of a lot faster than we are, so we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Does it bother you at all that these guys all come over and look at your right rear tire?
Well, no, we all do the same thing. I mean, that's part of the game. They don't really, we don't try to hide anything. Basically, we all kind of have a pretty good idea, but we want to, everybody kind of just judges for themselves and makes a decision from there.
All right, you're looking pretty good right now. Any secrets that you have that you're not going to share with anyone else about the racetrack? You could tell us and everyone on national TV.
Well, I don't know. Somebody might have a TV monitor around here. I don't know if I want to do that.
All right. Greg Hodnett, nice run in the B-main, and we'll wish you well in the Kings Royal.
Thanks. We're going to need it.
All right. Greg Hodnett in car number 11-8 gets the win.
So Greg Hodnett will go on to the A-main, as will a bunch of the others, and we'll have all the action of the Kings Royal coming your way on this full moon night. Jam-packed crowd here at Eldora enjoying the racing action as we work our way towards the A-main event. 14th annual Kings Royal, crowning of the champion and the handing of the check for $50,000. You can see how much fun these folks have here, as nobody else can find it. Steve Evans took a look around Eldora earlier today.
About any dirt track in America, you can get yourself a beer, right? Here at Eldora, well, you can get a shot in a beer. I'll tell you, a great idea for a T-shirt. I went to a party at Eldora and a race broke out. Let me show you what I mean. It's almost a nightclub atmosphere. And these folks don't just come hours before the race. Sometimes it's days. Earl furnishes tables and chairs and lots of souvenirs and bench racing. Everybody having a great time. Usually there's a DJ up here, but for the Kings Royal, how about a band in the infield? Miss Dangerous Curves and the Easy Street Band. Is she ever hot? You know, there's lots of family areas here at Eldora, but if you like to party, you like to hit it hard and often, this could very well be your kind of racetrack. Anybody having a good time?
It's kind of a sprint car Disneyland around here, isn't it?
It sure is.
There's a lot of fun here at Eldora. Earl Baltus knows how to put on a good event. Let's check in with Bobby Gerald, who's standing by with the guy who won this race last year.
Boy, and it was a popular win last year. Does it still bring a smile to your face when you think about that $50,000?
Well, yeah, last year was pretty good for us. This year is not so good right now. We didn't get qualified real good. I think we're going to be starting about 18th or so, but we're going to try to go to the front and get this Casey's General Store car in the front.
40 laps tonight. That's a little bit different than what you guys usually do. Usually it's 30 laps and maybe even 25 on the big tracks, but tonight 40. That's going to help you, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to give me a little more time. Same time I start so far back, you get a chance of getting the lap down early in the race, and we don't want to do that. But, you know, we've been running pretty good. We don't get qualified very good in many races this year, but we race real well. So we're going to try to, you know, get the right tire combination on here and start wherever we got to start and run to the front.
All right, and we're going to send it down. Good luck to you, Johnny. We're going to send it over to Dave Reef, who's standing by with a living legend.
I certainly am. Right now I'm standing in the pits of the 7TW car where after finishing 7th, you would think maybe they're not in tonight's Kings Royal. But they are in on a speed provision. So it is a big night, but not just because it's the Kings Royal, also because Tom Wimmer, the car co-owner, is celebrating his 800th consecutive World of Outlaws start. Pretty big statistics. In the world of sprint car racing, aggressive is the name of the game. To rise to the top, you must first have an iron will and desire to go the distance. With 800 consecutive starts as a car owner dating back to 1989, that's something 7TW team owner Tom Wimmer has plenty of.
You know, it feels good to have done that and accomplished that, but it's not a big thing. It's winning a championship would mean a lot more.
A humble man, Tom started sprint car racing back in 1986, helping a local racer buy fuel and helping out wherever he could. The hook set for good 1 year later when that racer wanted to sell out.
I looked the other day, we paid $23,000. We bought 2 motors, and there was a couple cars, a bunch of spare parts, and open trailer, and the whole package is $23,000.
Today, that figure wouldn't buy a respectable engine. But with the help of Gold Eagle and Ford, the beat goes on. But as Tom will tell you, it's an expensive sport, and the road to 800 hasn't always been a financial freeway.
There's been some close calls. We broke down once coming back from California, and I think it was in Wyoming or someplace, and rather than just sit there and get the truck fixed and stuff, we rented the truck, loaded the stuff up in a U-Haul truck, and away we came back to Lincoln, Nebraska.
The core of Two Winners Racing, a good team. Co-owner Bob Kramer has seen 500 races himself since joining forces with Tom in 1992. His son, J.D., now handles most of the wrenching duties, and for the last 5 years, Jeff Swindell has been the steerman.
Most owners don't stay that long, you know. There's some of them that have been out here for a long time and been back and forth, but to sit here and consistently be here all the time, that's very impressive in any kind of sport.
Well, I think, you know, one of the neat things about it is Gold Eagle's been around for about 300, and we've signed another contract with them, so they're going to make 600 with us, and hopefully Ford will make 800, and we'll all do it together.
With those kinds of numbers, it's easy to see that Tom Wimmer is truly the Cal Ripken of sprint car racing. But don't look for the high-speed hitman to get out of the game anytime soon.
As long as it's still fun, I'll just continue doing it, you know. When it gets to the point that we're not having fun out here anymore, why, we'll look for something else.
And keep in mind that these two guys also own 2 other teams. They actually had a 3-car team for the period of about 2 years. So 800 consecutive just for this car. Toss on those others. That's certainly a lot of races, Ralph.
Absolutely. You got that exactly right. Here's some of the crowd having a big time here at the 14th Annual Kings Royal. To the later in designer fashion, coming to World of Outlaw race.